What is up, everybody? It's Andrew Esquire here, Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. And happy Saturday or Friday? What are we at right now? It's Friday, right? We're still Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing very well over there Friday or Saturday morning. I guess it's Saturday morning. Well, happy morning, evening, night, wherever you are, whatever day it is. Good to see everybody here in the chat. And I'm on the road, but just wanted to do an episode here. Because a lot of people were asking questions about the Thai earthquake, which I was in Bangkok at the time, and I was up on a very high floor in my apartment, so I want to talk about that a little bit and kind of my personal experience. Also, throughout this, I'm going to have a link. It's pinned in the description. It's pinned in the chat right now. It's in the description, and I will pin it in the comments as well after the show, once the show's done. For giving and donation. So if you guys want to donate to charity, and that is, up to your ability to do so and desire, I'm donating to Global Giving, which is the specific Myanmar and Thai Earthquake Relief Fund. Which, right now I received, I guess, 32K of its goal. It goes towards both Thailand and Myanmar, aka Burma, right? And the relief of that there and helping the people that were kind of hit hard by that, the buildings that were destroyed, people that were trapped. So if you guys want to donate, that is there. Unfortunately, because I wanted to make it specific so it goes towards this cause, YouTube doesn't have an official way to do an official YouTube fundraiser that goes towards this cause. YouTube, for those that don't know, YouTube has a fundraising element to it, but it just goes generally to charities. It doesn't go to relief funds. So I wanted to just pin the relief fund. So if you feel like donating, donate to them. It goes directly to them. I don't see any of that. So just go to their website, do it on there, handle it. It's pinned. It's going to be in the description. It's in the chat. If you feel so compelled. We're going to have a short one today. We're just going over some video, showing you guys what happened. I'll talk about my experience and what happened. I'm actually not in Bangkok right now. I left right after this happened, which is insane. I'll tell you the story. But my friends are still there, and actually someone is staying at my apartment right now, a guest, and they told me it's been insane, trying to live the last couple days because a lot of things are shut down, and even in my building, because I live in a high-rise, and you couldn't go up into your condo until late at night. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what happened. Thank you for all the memberships and all the support, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll talk about my apartment, everything that happened in just a second. Let me read these chats. Mazrola Palma for 100 said we can have our own party when the lawyer's not watching. Hey, what's up, Mazrola? Thank you. Wolf and Wings says, what's shaking? Obviously, my apartment got pretty shaken out. Mad Lad said it's scary 7.7. So I'll say this. One of the reasons that I got a little bit shaken, no pun intended, is because I am from Florida. I am very used to hurricanes. I've even seen tornadoes because within hurricanes, they can spawn tornadoes. And certainly during some of the larger category storms, I've seen tornadoes. I've also been in tornado country. I was out in Oklahoma and I saw a tornado when I was there. So I've seen that. I've been in blizzards. I've been in other natural disasters, right? But an earthquake is a first for me. And, when you're not used to it, and, Bangkok, Thailand is not particularly prone to earthquakes. Neither was South Korea. I lived up there for a while. Not particularly overly prone to it. So it kind of throws you off. So it was pretty disturbing for me, but of course I am physically okay. Everybody I know is physically okay. All my friends are physically okay, which is really a blessing to hear. Although some of them were very, very frightened. I have a close friend that was a school teacher, and it was very frightening for their kids when that was happening. So Homestead, a survived Hurricane Andrew. Wow. Yeah, I lived in southern Miami, so not Homestead, but we had some serious damage during Hurricane Andrew, and I remember that vividly as a kid. So yeah, that was one of the bigger ones. Thank you, Eric H, for the 20 memberships. Thank you. And King Lugia for 5. Thank you. Colin M, what's up, Colin? Says, aloha, Andrew. Looks like you're okay. Take care, my brother. I will. So just real quick, I'll tell you my little story here in the beginning. And once again, like I said, the donation link is in the description. We're just talking this today. No Somali stuff. and then I have another topic for you in the future. I do have some crazy Somali news and updates, but not today. We'll get to it tomorrow. King Lugia for 6 Malaysian ringgit. Thank you so much. Says, just donated to do my part in the review. Thank you so much. As we say in Thailand, Kopkun Kap, very much for that. It's something, once again, I always, I don't like that disasters happen, but thank you for giving back, because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the people that receive that and the people that are helped out by that, because I'm going to show you some footage today, and this affected Myanmar, Thailand, and even China. Now, of course, aid to China is a very hard thing to do, so this will just help Burma and Thailand, which were hit. But you got to understand, Yunnan, southern China, very close to this. And one of the videos, oh man, really crazy stuff that went down in China as well. I think I've got that one. Actually, hold on, let me make sure I've got that one pulled up here, because it was absolutely really crazy. Seeing some of the stuff in Yunnan as well. So yeah, really, really, really nuts. So I'll tell my story kind of first before I say anything else. So I was actually uploading a video to YouTube, which is kind of crazy. I was uploading a clip. Shout out to my clipper Eagle. And then I noticed the clip was like it was like it needed an edit. It wasn't done yet. So I was like, okay, we got to edit it. So I just literally deleted the version and was like saying, okay, we have to edit this and redo the clip. And as I was doing that, I got up, and my friend was in my condo, and they said to me, hey, is there something going on right now? And I felt the building shaking a little bit. And I said, it might be construction. It might be construction, because there's a lot of construction in my area, as you're going to see. And a lot of the buildings that are damaged and went down are within a couple kilometers of where I live. So I'm just going to say this. I don't want to dox my location, where I am, because of course there's a bunch of internet weirdos out there. But every building you see with damage is very close to where I live. I'm not going to say whether I live in any ones we show, but once again, I'm not giving my location at all, but they're all very close to me, right? So I could see and hear a lot of things. Now, my instinct, I mentioned this, my instinct is not to pull out my camera, okay? So my instinct is not to start filming stuff. I know that might be a generational difference, because some generations are used to like filming everything immediately. I'm used to like not dying. So I pretty much just grabbed my stuff, threw on some shoes, and ran down the fire escape with my buddy. And we got to the bottom, we got outside, and it was crazy because everyone was on the street, and like almost all, especially the girls, were not wearing shoes. So you could tell they just ran, right? It's like half the girls out there were like barefoot, right? Like I threw on some shoes because I was afraid of like debris and other shit like that. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I was up on I'm not gonna say the floor, but it's a pretty high floor, right? There were people that I know that were that slept through it in Bangkok. Right? Because I was, of course, in Bangkok, right? There were people that slept through it. I have a buddy who he lives in a low-rise building, which is like a very low-level kind of condo, like very like first floor, second floor, and the building is only 3 or 4 floors tall. He had been partying the night before, and he was just probably hungover, and he slept through the entire thing. So he woke up like an hour or two later and was like, "What's going on?" He didn't know. But for me, there's no way I couldn't be woke up for that. There's actual, like in my unit, which I'm not in right now, in my unit, there's cracks in the ceiling. There's diagonal cracks by the door, which, diagonal cracks extremely problematic. There's some cracks along the roof, right? And they're pretty serious. And there's a lot of, superficial plaster damage, other stuff like that. But at first I didn't want to believe that it was happening. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is an earthquake. And then I saw the air duct bend, right? The air duct of my building, it actually warped and bent, and I saw it coming apart a little bit from the roof. And I'm like, okay, your boy's got to go. Your boy's got to go. So yeah, crazy, right? I was like, you know what? Let's go. So yeah, I was quite surprised. And this happened around like I don't remember the exact time, but it's about midday. But I had a pre-planned vacation to go to the beach in a safer part of Thailand that's actually further away from the earthquake. I had a plan with six of my friends to go to the beach, so we had a car waiting for us. So pretty much ran outside, and I had my shoes on, and I'm like, and I had my backpack, so I just grabbed my bag, which had my computer and everything in it, and I just grabbed my bag and I went out, and I'm like, well, stood outside for an hour, and I'm like, well, there's the car. I guess I'm gonna go, and I got out of Bangkok. It took me about 2.5 hours. 1:20, yeah. So around like 1 or 2 or something like that. My car came at 2. So it took me like 2.5 hours just to get out of Bangkok because the traffic was so bad. Johnny Somali did not cause the earthquake. That is a funny joke, though. So it took me about 2.5 hours to get out, and then multiple hours to get to my destination, which was normal. But I am safe. It was fine. But it's very interesting. So I'm staying out of Bangkok for a couple of days, letting them repair my unit, letting them look at the structure, because frankly, to be honest, I don't know whether or not the engineering, especially in some of the older buildings, accommodates for earthquakes. If you lived in, let's say, Japan, or you lived in a more earthquake-prone country, you might have, for example, like in Japan, a lot of the structure is engineered, whether it's through rollers or whatever else, other structural devices, to accommodate for earthquakes. But whether or not whether or not the Thai buildings are built for that is a question. And I'm going to show you one building today which actually collapsed, which was built by a Chinese company. And actually it was one of the first Chinese companies to be allowed inside Thailand to construct something. And it did not handle very well. I pray for the families that were caught in this, because there were 42 workers in the building when it completely collapsed, and it's really sad. So once again, that's why I had the donation link up, because you can donate to help out those families that kind of are hurting, or had somebody affected by this, or had a home destroyed, or whatever else, both in Myanmar, aka Burma, and Thailand as well. So that's up. It's pinned in the description. It's in the chat. So thank you guys if you donated. Thank you so much if you have the capability. Otherwise, I'm just sharing my story with you today. I see you people saying tofu buildings. I mean, you really have to engineer for it. And the thing is, I think about Florida, and I'm no engineer. So let me be full disclosure. I'm just a lawyer. I'm a simple lawyer, simple man. But I know in Florida, for example, we had this issue with hurricanes. And Hurricane Andrew actually kind of set a precedent for even strengthening our building codes. Because when you think about storms, you can build for the 1 in 20 year storm, you can build for the 1 in 50 year storm, or you can build for the 100-year storm. And when you think about something like here with an earthquake, which I was speaking to an older Thai gentleman, and they said they haven't experienced this in over 40 years. So are you constructing your building to handle something that is 1 in every 40 years or 50 years? I'm a little concerned, especially having worked with real estate developers, because I did that in Orlando. I worked with a lot of real estate developers, that, how can I say this with being very nice and protecting my clients? Let's say that they made certain choices to make certain things that they knew would not last for very long, right? So when people were developing, modern developers will say, we know this thing is going to go bad in 10 years, but we're going to put it on there anyways because it's cheaper, right? So we're going to do this because it's cheaper, right? And they do the cost benefit. And that's why I do get concerned with developers, especially you got to be very careful, because they may have cut a corner or been lax on an area because they said, well, this is not likely to happen, right? Once in 100 years. So what's the probability that happens, right? It's a trade-off. And sometimes trade-offs are reasonable, but when it comes to the safety of building, you don't want any trade-offs, especially if you're in it, right? Yeah, planned obsolescence is another word for it, or just it's corner cuttingism or other slang. So I am sometimes concerned, and obviously that does make me think about this a little bit more. But yeah, King Lucia says for 6 Malaysian come to Malaysia, KL, it's safer here. Look, I love Thailand. I don't think Thailand is at large unsafe. You have real estate developers, you have good ones and bad ones. There are great ones that built to high standards. There are other ones that clearly there was something lacking, right? And there's some situations that you can't prevent. Like, for example, we're going to watch some videos today about water going from the pools. That actually, from what I understood, my engineer buddies have said sometimes the rooftop pools or the rooftop infinity pools and stuff, those are actually planned to overflow because it like displaces the mass or something. I'm no scientist. I'm a simple country lawyer. That's just what they told me. I'm not sure how these things work, right? Yeah, for balance, okay. Some people said that, but yeah. Morgan says everyone wants to move into brand new condos. Anyways, those downtown, especially downtown Sukhumvit, don't last that long. Yeah, and that's the neighborhood we're talking about. We're talking about the general Sukhumvit area, which is the popular area where a lot of expensive condos are going up. So we'll talk about that real quick. Houndeville Omen said, "Don't immediately grab your phone and take a video. Darwin approves." Yeah, I know. That's not my instinct. I'm not clearly a streamer, an IRL streamer. Right? An IRL streamer would have done that. I can't. Scientific Fanfic says, I was at a 7.7 back in 86. Thank God the U.S. military construction was scary. Yeah. Jordan says, double O mindset and a little shaken, but never stirred. Glad you're safe and well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody who reached out to me. A lot of you DM me or sent me emails. Thank you so much for that. Natasha said, for 2, your EQ cherry has been shaken. Yes. That, to be honest, and that's like the first time you experience something, you have this like visceral, like, oh shit, this is this, and I froze for a little bit because my brain was spinning. I was like loading, like, what do you do in an earthquake? And I was like, I remembered something about the door frame. So I'm like, oh, let me go stand in the door. And then I'm like, wait a second, I'm just standing here. Might as well go to the exit and get out of here. Right. So that was what I ended up doing. I did not feel any, feel any aftershocks because I left Bangkok quickly, but I didn't feel any aftershocks or anything else because I left. And as far as I'm aware, most of my friends there didn't feel anything major. And some in different parts of Bangkok said they felt little to nothing, right? Or they said it wasn't that bad, right? That's what they said. They said it wasn't that bad. But other places said no, it was really bad, right? So let's get a couple of these. I'm going to show some videos. Kazuya Chow for 30 Malaysian ringgit says, hey, Andrew, hope you and those you know are safe. Yeah, they are. I have an uncle there. My mom and I were trying to contact since this morning. What's the communication status? There's delays. So I, for example, was trying to even like transfer stuff here. Like, for example, if you transfer money to Thailand, it's delayed now by 2 business days. So a lot of stuff did get messed up. So expect some delays. My phone still works. I have full service right now. Let me double check. Yeah, I've got 5G with full bars. I'm not in Bangkok, but I still have very good connection. I also have a local phone, etc. So yeah. Rigo says, glad you're okay. As a Floridian such as yourself, take a hurricane over an earthquake any day. At least with hurricanes, we have the same type of warning, some type of warning system in place. Yeah, as a Floridian, I'm going to tell you I'm much more comfortable with a hurricane. I don't like having zero notice. That is scary as hell. To have no notice, to just be like going about your day, and then all of a sudden, boom. Like that, to me, threw me off a lot. Welcome, Tisha Liz is a new member. Nira for €5 says, how about Laos? Can't get any news whether it was affected. Also, probably not, because Laos is further away, and I don't think Laos was largely affected. So that's what I've heard. I haven't heard anything. So the lack of hearing anything about Laos means it probably wasn't. Greetings. So Guten Tag over there in Deutschland. Danke. Alex Chung says, pray for the victims in Myanmar and Thailand from Taiwan. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Ryobi said, heard from many expats and friends that tofu dreg is slang in Chinese for buildings and housing that's rushed with massive overtights. It's terrifying. Yeah, so let's show the building. Let's start with this. I'll start with I guess we'll start with this. This is Myanmar. I've got a bunch of stuff here to show you guys. We're just going to go through it and give you guys a chance to see some of this. This is the Ava Bridge in Myanmar. You can see here, complete collapse. This is near the border with Thailand, right? So this is a complete collapse of this bridge in Myanmar. which is obviously pretty severe. This is shot by my realtor. And a lot of people have taken this without my permission, but it's okay. This was shot by my realtor. She sent it to me and I posted it. And this is a shot of one of the infinity pools, actually, that was like overflowing during the earthquake. And there's a lot of other videos like this, but let me just show you. It's very typical of this. So you can see right there, like it looks like, to me, like Angel Falls, but like, you know, if Angel Falls was a condo, you know, a high-rise condo, right? Like just so much water, like the entire pool. And there's some videos, I haven't found too many, but there's some videos of people in the pools on the top and they didn't get out. There's also a video, which I didn't want to show, it was kind of crazy, of a window washer who was stuck halfway up and had to hold on while the water was coming over. Luckily, he was missed because he was on the side, but it was real close. It was real close because if you get hit by that much water, it's like a ton of bricks because the volume of the water is just insane. Here's a picture from Mandalay area. This is in Myanmar, right? And it kind of just shows the amount of damage of this. Like, look at that. Just like massive crack in the road. In Mandalay. Like if you were anywhere near that and drove into that, you were gonna have some serious problems, right? Oh yeah, my Thai is very basic. I am learning, but my Thai is right? Like a very, very, very small amount. But I am learning. I am trying. I'm trying to learn the alphabet. I do try, right? So when people ask me, "Do you speak Thai?" I say "Madai," right? But anyways, that is crazy. That's Myanmar side. Okay. Here's the building that I wanted to show you that was Chinese constructed. So this is the most crazy. Okay, this is the craziest one of it. So this is a Chinese constructed building. This is the only one that completely collapsed in Bangkok. So no other building completely collapsed. And to be fair, this one was under construction. So yeah, and guys who are asking, I'm okay. Right? My apartment is a little messed up. I'm not going to lie. There might even be structural damage to my apartment. But this is the only skyscraper to collapse. You know, yeah, let's just play this real quick. This is kind of crazy. I'll play from the I gotta be honest with you guys. If a building collapsed and I see that's happening, I am not recording. I'm running. And if there's an ash cloud going in my name, I'm going the other way. Right? You know, like I'm not gonna be recording. Right? That's not me. Somebody else can do that, but I'm not recording this. Yeah, it looks almost like a demolition, but it was not a demolition. That was not a demolition. There's multiple angles of this. We'll watch from a couple different angles because it's just absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, there were 42 workers there. So yeah, definitely pretty nuts. Let's see. Did I have the other angle on that? Let's see. I think it was on my, let me go to my own page because it was on my page. And one of these videos was shot by a friend of mine. This one's actually really good. It's a better angle. One of these was shot by a friend of mine who was like just in the area at the time. There's two videos. Oh wait, hold on. When I'm traveling, my travel laptop can sometimes glitch a little bit. So sorry about that, guys. Bear with me for 1 second. Just going to close some extra windows because my laptop lagged for a little bit. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. Let me add that. Perfect. Okay, show you that. Perfect. Okay, this one is a much closer. It's the same building, but it's a closer angle. Watch this. So this is one where, like, if I had the cloud coming, I am not at all recording, right? If the cloud is coming for me, I'm dropping it and just full running. But yeah, this was absolute. I mean, watch it one more time, just like, just complete drop there. Yeah, exactly. Crazy stuff. This building was actually, this is another like kind of pool video. This one's kind of from a closer angle, but you can see like the amount of water that got spilt. Just to be clear, this is a building very near where I live. It's not where I live, but it's nearby. So I know this building. I know a lot of these buildings. So let me just play this one. The creepiest thing about that video for me is you hear the building that the person recording is in creaking. That was it. This video creeps me out, not because of the water. The water sounds right, but that creaking was like what I was hearing, and I was like, that's not good. like that's what I was hearing, and see, now you guys are getting the background sway. Yeah, that's what disturbed my soul. Was like that's the same thing I was hearing, and I was like, this shit ain't good. Time to run down multiple flights of stairs. Yeah, that creaking was the exact sound I was hearing. You know, I'll play it one more time, just for the, like, once again, listen to the background noise. Just listen to the background noise. Crazy stuff. And a lot of people were like caught kind of off guard by it as well. There were a lot of like influencers and other people. This is one of the people at the pool top, which luckily in this video there were none that were in the actual pool, but there were a lot of people that were kind of close on this one. Oh wait, shoot. Kind of see if you're pool level. Pool level. Crazy.
Oh my.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Like crazy stuff. Poor baby, I know, poor kid. Because I mean, imagine being stuck. Imagine being stuck in that. There's one more I want to show you, and this one from a real estate standpoint is crazy. I've got a video for you, and it is nuts. I'm going to tell you the value on this building, and you're going to be kind of shocked because now it's definitely nuked the value on this one building. But before I do that, let me get some chats. If the house is rocking, don't come a knocking. Yeah. Ruby said the building in the video reminds me of Marine Bay Sands. Yeah, a lot of them look like that, and a lot of the new condos are in that style. Mechanic Cat said the building was bought on Temu, the one that collapsed. Yeah, I mean, well, it's Chinese built, so. And once again, it's not to say that every Chinese built building is like that, but you know, there definitely seems to have been some structural issues that were going on there. Mazrova said for 100, this makes me glad to live in one of the most geologically stable places on Earth. Honestly, I'm appreciating Florida more. Can I say that? I appreciate Florida more. Rico for 5 says, in the words of Gandalf the Grey, fly, you fools! Natasha said for 5, the building type, soil you're on, and distance from the epicenter make things feel different. Ground level is best, IMO, F high res, and EQs. Yeah, it's given me a new appreciation for the ground. I'll tell you that. EDMG said, part of me is surprised people keep phones out during a collapse, but then I remember we have ground footage of the World Trade Center collapsing. Yeah, and part of you it appreciates that somebody documents it, but part of you is thinking, is your survival instinct not there? And people, I know, I saw the chat saying you can run away and record, but not everybody was running away and recording. Some people were just recording. But okay, I guess if you're running and recording, that's better, right? But I would just be running. That's my personal opinion, right? Okay, so the next building I'm going to show you, this is called Park Origin in Bangkok. This building is extraordinarily expensive. I'm familiar with this building. I know somebody who lives in this building. It is not me. It's not my building. But I know somebody that lives in this building. And let's let this load, or shall I say lag my computer. which is what a lot of this video does. Let's see. Did that work? Okay, let me pause this because I think it's just lagging because of this. Okay, so here's Park Origin, right? Sorry, it destroyed my. Yeah, this is so crazy. It destroyed my my laptop. My laptop is like, you cannot show this video. It's too spicy. All right, hold on. One second. Share it. Come on, laptop. There you go. Okay, cool. So this building, come on, laptop. You can do it. You can do it, Google Tabs. You can do it, Google Tab. We have the technology. There we go. All right. Okay. This building right here is called Park Origin. Yeah, a lot of scuff. Sorry, my travel laptop does not like tabs sometimes, and I have a lot of tabs open. Nick says, help with the emotional cabbage. Thank you. This building is $300,000 US, which, mind you, in Thai baht, that is a lot. But at the highest level, like the larger ones, this is like a unit is like $1 million, and this is in Thai baht. So once again, $1 million can buy you a very nice, like $1 million is insane kind of for Thailand, for Bangkok. Like that's like abnormally expensive for a condo. Like you might think they're money laundering at that point, you know. But yeah, people are saying it's cheap. Yeah, in the U.S., right? It's not 92 baht to the dollar. It's about 34 right now, 34 baht to the dollar, right? So it's about $1 million at the top end. The cheapest unit is 300,000. That is extremely expensive here, right? Now, that said, there's a sky bridge, and you know, they said sky bridges are super, super safe, and they're totally all right. Well, watch this with the sky bridge. Yeah. What you just think happened. Indeed, that one got completely separated. And, you know, once again, there's amenities on that level. So I am hoping nobody fell from that. I'm hoping they weren't anywhere near that. And I know people have said that they're engineered to do that. But that is scary as hell, right? And I'm not sure how you attach that again, or yeah, I'm not sure how you fix that. I'm really not sure how you fix that. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I think that's just screwed now, right? By the way, I like the name of this, Dim Sum Daily. That is kind of funny. But it's kind of donezo. There's another angle of this. I think there's another angle, some video of this happening here. Let me play this one. But absolutely crazy. This one's shot from the bottom. Once again, this is very near me. It's not my building, but it's nearby, right? So let me just show you guys this. Yeah. Crazy. And you can see at the same time the pool's also overflowing on the other tower, right? So. So you can see it disconnecting there and going over the side. So crazy stuff. That one's really near me. I know I have a friend who lives there. So crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Zero Edge Daniel said, looks like the ground is complete insanity. Yeah, crazy. Island Revenue for 999 says, we Atlantic coasters are so lucky the tectonic plates in the Atlantic can't generate quakes or tsunamis. Honestly, I've underappreciated that. I've lived in North Carolina and Florida, like for probably the majority like of the time that I was in the U.S. was in those two places. I've also lived in Vegas and for a little bit in L.A. and obviously Orlando, Florida, other places as well. But never, and even when I was in LA for a short period of time, I never experienced any quakes or anything like that. So it does give me an appreciation for that, seriously. Bad News Badge for 20 says, glad to see you're okay. Sorry, sad to hear many are not. 1,000 are not. And that's why I have the link in the description, in the chat, and it's going to be in the comments afterwards. And if you guys want to give specifically to this fund, right over here, it's the Myanmar and Thailand Earthquake Relief Fund. Over 1,000 people lost their lives, unfortunately, and thousands of homes were destroyed, and many people are kind of hurting. So if you can donate, if you have the means and you give to care, this goes specifically to that. And I just wanted to have an opportunity to kind of show a little bit of it and how it impacted folks over here. There was a lot of bridges collapsing, other things like that, particularly in Myanmar. The photo from my thumbnail, that's Myanmar. So yeah, just if you have the capacity, thank you. Natasha says, what are your thoughts on elevators? Stairs for the win. You will be fit in no time. Honestly, this gave me a new appreciation for stairs, because I always thought I was when I lived in, oh, and by the way, this is a good point here. There's no homeowners insurance covering a lot of this stuff. That's a very relevant point. As we're talking about people places where homeowners insurance doesn't exist, right? Especially in Myanmar, yeah. But that said, regarding stairs, I used to complain in Korea because in Korea I lived often in units that were on the third floor, but they were buildings that didn't have an elevator. So I was like, oh man, there's no elevator. This is horrible. I want to live in a building with an elevator, right? And now I'm like, you know what? I'm okay being on the third floor or second floor. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. The second floor is fine. Third floor is fine. I'm okay with this now. T-Dot says, I know this isn't a KRI stream, Johnny Somali, RKI, but what stance do you have about him trying to take the bipolar stance? We'll talk about that in the future. I don't want to get too off topic. It's totally BS. It's not going to work. It's not effective. It's not effective. It's not going to work. So that's my stance on that. Isaacs for £5 says, the building under construction may not have all the stuff installed to make it safe. It starts crashing from the top. The lead stream far apart. I'm aware of that, right? I am aware of that. But it's not lost on anybody that this building, which was almost done, was funded by a company that was already questionable, and people had raised questions about this company even beforehand. They kind of were under a spotlight, and so now there's going to be a lot of more questions with that company. Rico says, I'm not an engineer, but it looks like the middle building was the only one moving. We sure that wasn't gymnasium? No. It was a lot of buildings were moving. My building was built by a Thai company, and I was swaying. Now I'm up pretty high, but I was definitely swaying. Billy Oki says, guess the pool's closed. Yeah, the pool's closed for a while. The pool in my building is still closed right now. Most of the amenities levels are we have like a garden on the roof that's closed, so yeah, it's gonna be out there. Zoro says elevators are horrible. Elevators are we're definitely an L. Michael Rua says, as long as it wasn't Samsung Mall level of bad malls. That was bad. That was another bad incident. Chaos Smash says Ubisoft is gonna be like those buildings under Tencent. Oh, oof. How close am I to the beach? So right now I'm on vacation. I am not in Bangkok. In Bangkok is not close to the beach. So I'm not close to the river either. So not that close. So like tsunami is not really an issue. Now, where I'm at now, I am closer to the beach. However, it's far enough away that the tsunami risk is almost zero. And even if it was, it wouldn't affect the level I'm on. So I'm not there in Bangkok right now. So for those that are joining later, because I see we have 3,000, and maybe people in the beginning when I mentioned that missed out. So I'm not worried about tsunami, although it was a risk for people in different parts of Thailand, right? But not where I'm at right now. So I'm good, I'm safe, and my risk of problems is not there. Almost zero because I'm a lawyer, and I never say zero. That's why, because I'm a lawyer, right? So I use words like it probably won't happen. It's plausible or implausible, right? So almost zero because there's always a probability, right? It's never true zero, right? A probability is always like maybe 0.1, right? There's always a probability, right? There's a probability an asteroid hits the Earth, right? But it's low, right? So, allegedly. Marshall J. Cooper said, no penthouse private elevator with Somali money? No. Although Johnny Somali has led to me being able to buy a condo. Ironically, the earthquake talked me out of, I could just buy a condo, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to hold off investing in it. Maybe right now a condo is not the best investment. Maybe a condo is not the best investment. Sorry, but yeah, no, it's definitely brought me up that. And guys, please smash the like button, get the awareness out there, and once again, if we can raise some money, help them out. I won't get any credit for this. This doesn't come back to me. This is just a private link. This is there for the foundation, the relief fund that I found. So, up to you guys to contribute. But, we raise a little money, do a little good, and spread a little positivity in this time of problems for others. That'll help, and I'll appreciate it. Thank you all so much for that. I think that's effectively all I got. I have one other thing. It's kind of sad, but I watched this video, and there's this video. I'm gonna watch it. It's hard to watch, and I'll tell you something after we watch the video, because it's pretty sad in a way that you probably wouldn't think of intuitively. So here's another video, and someone was recording this because water was coming down, but the building was also under construction. So let's play this. Yeah, so that obviously was being recorded because the water was coming out of the building. But what also is in that photo, which I don't want to focus on, but I've seen the video, is the crane operator fell out of that. And if you zoom in very closely, which I've seen the other video, he gets ejected from the crane and tumbles down, and you see it. There's a video that zooms in on that same thing. Horrible. My soul and heart goes out to that family, because that's absolutely horrible. You can kind of see it in that video if you zoom in, but it's sad. It's extraordinarily sad. And that one is just crazy, because you never know, right? You could be that guy. We could all be that person, right? It's just it's crazy, and that was the last one. That was the one where I was like, I watched that, I'm like, I'm done watching videos today. We're done here. Because even when you're in that, you think about your own mortality, and you're like, have I done good in this world? Have I been a good boy today? It's definitely something that's extraordinarily sad. So that's why, once again, I wanted to take some time just, out of my vacation, which I was going to take a couple days off. I've done a lot of Somali coverage back to back. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I've got a lot of work IRL. My friends are here. But I wanted to take some time to raise some awareness for this, bring up the relief fund. It's in the description. It's pinned comment in the chat. It's below. So if you guys can help out helping out both rebuilding and families that lost people and maybe lost the person that's the primary breadwinner, or lost the person that would be providing for them. If you have the capacity, the donation fund is here, and it's in the link as well. Right. Okay, I'll get some chats, and then I think we're good. Edwin W. Noy for 149. Thank you so much, and also appreciate the membership. Also, Danny said for 100 Thai baht. Says, speaking of Cabbage Boy, he's seriously going to try and play the insanity plea card. He's desperate to escape. Will the judges let him? He's not going to get out on that. Trust me. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Somali. He's not going to get out with insanity. It might drive me insane though. 200 Watt Studio says the guy just trying to worker for a swim. No, that guy was in the crane. He was in the crane. You see in the zoomed in video, he was in the crane. You see him get ejected from it. I didn't show that because, YouTube, I don't want to engage in like glorification of anything or whatever. It's just, it's bad. It's bad. Michael Schmidt says, nature tells us how small we are. Gruß aus Deutschland. Greetings to Legal Mindset fans. So true. So true. You feel like you think you're important or you think your life is important, and then you realize actually you're just a little thing, and in nature's world that could squash you in a second, right? Direwolf, thank you. Ginner Pinner says, sorry to hear about the earthquake. Thank you for that. Rayobi says the earthquake was telling you not to be a cabbage boy. To honestly, I do think about this. This is an unironic thing, but if you go through that stuff, you really do reflect on yourself, and you say, am I doing? If I went right now, have I lived in a way that I'm okay with? And you reflect on that. You genuinely do. And I reflected on it. I'm like, well, I don't want to, but I'm okay, right? But I don't want to, right? And I'm gonna try to save myself here, right? But yeah. Rigo said for 5. So Andrew is saying he is in no way a Sith. Sith only deal in absolutes. No, I'm not a Sith. Colin M says, please hit the like button. Thank you. Natasha said, enjoy the vacation and work them stair legs. I will. I am walking the stairs this whole weekend. Tuna wants to say, I know. I was just saying people at work and also people vacation hours. Yeah, and there were people vacationing. There's other ones of people swimming in the pool, which there's some of them that are pretty crazy. Raiko Inari Q says, please place a flower there if you can. I'll try to find the location of that one with the crane. I'll see if I can find that one. If I can, I will. If I can find it, I will. Thank you so much, everybody. So once again, guys, last call. We're gonna pull this one early. I'm not trying to melt. It could be too long tonight. But the relief fund is here. It goes towards Myanmar, which is Burma, and Thailand as well for the earthquake relief fund by Global Giving. It goes right to this charity, Not Me. So it helps for people that were. Homes, schools, churches, temples, shrines that were destroyed as part of this, providing food, emergency medical supplies, shelter, support for frontline workers, long-term recovery. So it's a very good charity. They've got a good rating on Charity Navigator, so I decided to go with that one, and it's available now. So thank you for that, everybody. I'm not really going to do too much of an outro today because I don't want to be glib about this. But thank you for being here, and I want to say I appreciate you as an audience supporting me. We'll be back on other topics. We'll be back lighthearted, making memes tomorrow, and all and when I'm back on next. We're heading towards the end of the month, so I probably will have a BLM level member stream the next couple days. That'll just be casual, off topic, maybe AMA and some random stuff I want to talk about. But until then, guys, thank you so much. And I will catch you guys all later. Until next time, guys. Peace.
You are called